There you go. Do we have a minion even? Nope, no minion. Okay, well, so where we up to? We did halfway down the Amr. All right, we got up to Rav Amar. Where's Gershon? I thought he was coming here in person. Oh, Gershon. You coming over here or you're still traveling?
No, I'm outside. I'm just trying to figure out where you are.
How about my mother? That's what I wanted to
Coming in.
let you know. I didn't want you to schlep around for no reason.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Coming in.
No, we're starting. Okay, so it's up to Gemara. We're up to Rav Amar. Yeah, it's on Lamed Hey Amid Aleph, about halfway down. All right, so what's going on the case in the Mishnah, where we said in the Mishnah
Right.
that you go ahead.
When you said last night Gary Larson, I just noticed by Shar Pikeach, I have written down according to Far Side. I haven't written my Gemara.
Taka?
Yeah.
You taka or chavrusas. That's funny. Anyway, so the Mishnah said that the Mishnah had a list of 5 things that a shar is chayiv and a human is not. And one of the things at the end of the Mishnah that a human is potter for is if he burns anything on Shabbos, so then since he's chayiv misa, so therefore he's potter on the thing, on the stack or whatever it is that he burned, whatever the grain that he burned, that's coming to the Rav, right? Fine. So now we're going and then we had a kasha, right? So we said Rabbi Yochanan had said that if you need the ashes, that's when you're chayiv for burning. Otherwise, you're not chayiv, right? Because otherwise you're not chayiv. Yeah. So, Zeb Bol, that's a long time no see. Yeah. Anyways, so now we're trying to figure out why our Mishnah is not a kasha Rabbi Yochanan. Again, Rabbi Yochanan had said that if you burn something and you don't need it for the ashes, then you're potter, meaning it's not considered malacha, right? From the Mishnah, it's very clear that it is considered a malacha because we're saying kamma b'derabbanan, and that's why the guy's potter from paying for it, right? Again, the Mishnah says that the guy's potter for burning something on Shabbos because he's kamma b'derabbanan. But if his shor burns it, then his shor is going to be chayiv, right? Because the shor doesn't have punishments. So Rabbi Yochanan had said you're never chayiv for burning something unless you need it for the ashes, which our Mishnah is saying you're not chayiv for. So, which our Mishnah is saying that it's not involving ashes. So if that's the case, so then what's a pshat? So then it's a kasha on Rabbi Yochanan. What do you want to say?
It's a very interesting concept, but the Gemara says that they didn't give Misa once in 7 years or 70 years. So, like, when does that kick in, that beautiful svara? When did they ever use it?
So very good. Very good. That's mamish going to be, I think the answer to your question is going to be answered in this Gemara. Not directly, but I think so. But let's see. So that's a Gemara. You need a Gemara? It's only the big ones. Yeah. You see it? Okay, so Rav has a different teretz. Again, we're trying to answer the stira to Rav Yochanan. So Rav Amar Masnisin b'shoigig. The Mishnah is talking about when he lit the fire, he did it b'shoigig. Now, right off the bat, when he went b'shoigig, so there's no chiyuv if you did it b'shoigig, right? So that can't. So then there's going to have to be a pshat to that. The Gemara is going to get back to that in a minute. So masniza b'shoigig. The Tana de Vechizkiya, and like Chizkiya said, the Tana de Vechizkiya, maka adam and maka behem. Right? The pasuk says you hit a person, and meaning if you hit a person and you hit a behemoth, meaning maka adam, that there's also coming with the ramune, and maka behemoth where you're gonna pay money. Ma maka behemoth loy chalakta ba bein shagig bein mezid. By a behemoth, if somebody damages a behemoth, there's no difference between whether he did it by mistake or on purpose. Bein mischaven l'shem mischaven, whether he does it with intention or without intention. Bein derech yirida l'derech aliyah, whether he did it on the way down or whether he did it on the way up. That's the Gemara in Makkas, right? That there's a difference in whether you go to Golus, if it was on its way down, or whether it's meaning when you hit the axe by mistake, you're hitting somebody, you do it on the way down, or you do it on the way up. Lepaitroi mammon, to pater him from money. Ella l'chayv mammon, right? He's chayav mammon, meaning with all these things we don't differentiate by a behemoth, right? So the same way we don't differentiate by behemoth. Afmake adam. So same thing when you hit a person like sachlik by ben shayig lemezid, we don't differentiate shayig lemezid ben mischaven l'shem mischaven. Whether it's on the way down or on the way up, by moment to be mechayiv in money, moment, right? But it's only to pater him from money, meaning just like by when you kill a person, so you pater, right? Meaning this is the main yesod here. He's saying you're pater even if you wouldn't have been chayiv misa. Right? For whatever reason, let's say it's shaygig, let's say, I don't know what's another example, maybe it's no asra, meaning, right, Rabban, say this, I think this is why this answers your question. Meaning, let's say a guy kills shaloi hasra, so he's still pater from payment, even though he wasn't being chayiv in misa. So that's what he's saying. So the same thing with Golus. So he did it by mistake, but since it's in the concept of if you kill somebody, you pater from the pater from the money, so then that's even if you do a b'shoigig, you're still going to be pater from the money.
In other words, there's no lambus. It's just a din.
Correct. So now no, so it comes out.
It's always chayiv.
Right.
It's always
correct. So it comes out according to Rabbi Yochanan. You are pater from doing damage, right? From burning something. Really, you are pater, right? And the Mishnah is not a kasha, because the reason why the Mishnah is saying you're pater from even without kamma b'derabim is because you taka are. Anything having to do with a chi of misa is not a problem. Right, so I'm really Rabban the Rabbim. He matzes mukus la b'shoigig. How can you say that our Mishnah is talking about a shoigig? It says nation nidan benashik. It says the reason why the guy's pater on Shabbos from the grain that he burned is because he's going to be punished. He's going to be judged. Whatever, he's going to be punished with his nefesh. He's going to be killed. So how can you say it's golus? If it's golus, he's not going to be killed. Since on b'mezid he's judged by his nefesh. What's the case? The kavoy la'afroi. And what would be the case if he did it b'mezid? He'd be chayiv. That's if he needed the ashes, right? Because Rabbi Yochanan says when a guy burns something and he needs the ashes, that is a productive reason to burn something, and he says there you'd be chayiv. But since he could theoretically be chayiv misa, if he wants if he burns the grain for ashes, hashta b'shoigig pater. Now that he's b'shoigig is pater, meaning the Mishnah is not saying that. The Mishnah is saying that it is a shoigig, but when it says that it's nidan benashe, it means that since there is a situation where a guy could burn down the grain and be chayiv misa, because if he burns the grain because he needs the ashes, mamela will be kamma b'derabim. So therefore we say the kamma b'derabim even when it's just a chiyuv of galus. Okay, that's another hard Bava Kamma Gemara. Okay, fine. Next Mishnah. Yeah, sure. this is a little bit easier, I think. Shor shahaya roidif achar shor achar. You have one shor chasing another shor. V'huzuk and it damaged it. Right, so you see one shor chasing another shor, and then it got damaged. So of course, right, one of them says, your shor, meaning the guy who the owner of the shor that got damaged said, your shor damaged my shor. No, it fell on a rock, right? Or whatever it did with the rock. Right? So then what's the din? Like the standard case in Ezekiel. Right? When one guy comes over to another guy and says, you damaged me, the burden of proof is on the person who wants to collect. Right? That's let's say two oxen were running after one, and then it damaged.
They both belong to
Says
people.
what?
They both belong to people.
Correct. Owned by two different people. Well, all three. Rashi says three, meaning there's three shars, two chasing one, right? Each one has its own owner. Yeah. So Yishnaim wrote an achar echad zeh I'm mishacher hizik. Each one says
Three shavarim.
shvarim.
3 shores. 3 shavarim.
Yeah. Yeah. So Antom and Beis now Shnei and Peturin, they're both potter. Why? One of them did it. Right? Nobody here is denying. See, in this case, nobody's saying it was a rock. Right? They're saying if one of them did it, the child, they couldn't tell which one did it. So, but each one has an amotze mecharel or rai on it. Right? That's case number 2. Case number 3. But if both oxen belong to one person, shneim chayavim, they're both chayav. The Gemara is going to say exactly what that means. What does it mean? They're both chayav. They both have to pay? That can't be. Right? So we have to see exactly what that means. Fine. 4th case. Right? If one was a big cow and one was a small cow. So of course the nizik gadol izik. The nizik says the big one damaged, right? Because again, it's a tam, right? So he's going to get chatzi nezik, and as we know, the chatzi nezik gets paid out of the damaging animal. So of course the nizik is going to want this shard, the large shard, to be the one that damaged. I guess he gets a lot more money.
Why are you assuming a tam?
Be honest with you, I don't know, but that's what Rashi says. Right?
Rashi. Okay.
Because we have the only other thing is because the next parak is muad. Not next parak? No, middle of the next parak.
Yeah.
Middle of the next parak is muad. Right? Anyways, so again, echad gadol echad katan, hanizik omer gadol hizik, v'amazik omer loiki ala katan hizik, the small one did it. Echad tam, or in another case, echad tam ve'echad muad, one was a tam, one was a muad. Hanizik omer muad hizik, of course, the one that got damaged is going to want the muad because the muad pays full damages. V'amazik omer loiki ala tam hizik. The tam says, again, the same thing. The burden of proof is on the guy who wants to take out the money. If there were two, how do you say it? Two victims, I guess, right? If there were two victims, and there were two damagers. One's a big one, one's a small one. Right? So hanizik oimer gadol hizik is a gadol v'katan is a katan. The big one did the big one, right? They match up. V'mazik oimer like he ala katan is a gadol is a katan. The katan did the gadol, and the gadol did the katan. Now you got to really crunch the numbers to figure out why that's more. Meaning, right? Meaning he's going to collect chatzi nezek, right? But he's only going to get if the small shar damaged the big shar, so he's only going to have to pay from the small amount. And if the big one damaged the small shar, but the stum of the damage is less, right? So therefore, both ways, the mazik's going to want to say that it's swapped out, and the nizik's going to want to say that it was the katan to the katan, the gadol to the gadol. Fine. Echad tam ve'echad muad, or another case. One was a tam, one was a muad. And is it going to muad? Hizik is a gadol, but tam is a katan, right? Because again, you'll get the bigger shor probably has more damage, so he'll get more money. And again, so there's about, I don't know, I lost track already. It's 5 or 6 different cases here. Basically, we're just saying that the burden of proof is on the nizik. So, fine. So, what the Mishnah is trying to tell us is that this Mishnah, the Chaverim of Sumchis, disagree with him. Right? Yeah. The Omar, right? The famous din of Sumchis, that anytime you have money, that there's a suffix about it, and we don't know who the money goes to, we say that they have to split it. We don't care about the tainas, we don't care which way it goes in it. Now the standard case, and it plays in a little bit here, I think it's in Shoshanagos Apara? Yeah, no?
Which case?
This regular standard right, in Shoshanagos Apara, yeah? So basically you find it's a pregnant cow, and then you find that there's a dead fetus next to it. So we have no idea if it was natural, was a natural miscarriage, or if another shar gored it, right? So each one, of course, is tiny that they should get money. So Simcha says that's Mammon Mutab. There is a little different than here, because there nobody could know the answer. Nobody knows the answer to this. Because even if it was gored, how do you know that caused the miscarriage? It's just in the Metzias, you don't know if the goring did anything to it, right? Or did it have a miscarriage on its own? So since nobody could know, so that could be there. That's where Simcha says his din of Mammon Mutab B'Safek is Cholkin, because why not? Why not Cholkin, right? Not why not, meaning it's a real suffix that you can't ever get down to the bottom of anyways. So each one should split it. But here it's a little different, because here it's really based on Eid, not really Eidus, but it's based on them seeing. And each one says they saw the way it went down. So it's a little bit different. So anyways, what Rabbi Barab is saying is that this Mishnah is directly disagreeing with Sumchas, and Sumchas in these Mishnah, in these cases of Mishnayos, would say it. So the Rabbi Barab, Omar Sumchas afilu bari. Does Sumchas even say his din when both sides are 100% sure? I don't know. Does bari mean 100%? I guess. I mean, they're
It's a taina of bari.
I mean, they're saying 100%. They're not doubting. They're not doubting what they're saying. They're backing up what they're saying 100%. So does he say it in that case too?
Doesn't mean they're telling the truth.
Well, they can't both be telling the
You
truth.
just don't have any way to disprove them. That doesn't mean anything.
And
They
they
both
can't
tell
both be telling the truth. They can't both be telling the truth.
They cannot both be telling. Well, they could be telling the truth based on their perception.
One of them is wrong.
Right, exactly.
One of them is wrong.
Right.
Yeah, but it's his truth.
And
But each one brings their mother to the court, Bezdin, and says, my son's an honest person. No way my son is lying.
Right, it has to be the case, right?
Yeah.
well, so that's the shaila. Is this considered like a autobasafik? Because to ask each one of them, if you ask each one of these guys, and there's no suffix here, they're going to say there's no suffix here. I know 100% I'm right.
It's a different kind of suffix. It's not a drug in the way.
Okay, it's not, yeah, but I'm
It's
saying
a suffix
Lemaisa-
between them and only between them. It's
Right.
not a real suffix.
correct, but it's harder to say that it's Mammon Mutab B'Safek. Like normally, Mammon Mutab B'Safek is like, okay, so each one's going to put in their bid for the thing. But if they are so 100% sure about themselves, there's not really Mammon Mutab. But you go over to each guy and say, are you Masufik? There's no suffix here. They're going to say there's no suffix. Right, so that's a shayla. Does he say it even by Bari Bari? Amarle in Amar Sumchas Afilu Bari Bari. Sumchas says it even by Bari Bari. So then how do you know that the Mishnah is talking about Bari and Bari? Right? Maybe the Mishnah is only talking about where it's a Bari v'Shema, Shema v'Shema. Right? Meaning each one says, I don't know for sure, but I think. Right? Or one says for sure and one says he thinks. Right? So he answers the Katani, Zeh Omer Sharcha Hizik, Zeh Omer Loiki. He says, because the Mishnah seems to be very clear, right? Said this guy says your shard damaged, and this one says not true. That sounds pretty definitive on each side, right? So now the Gemara has a long kasha, like a 10 12 line kasha. So Maskal Rapapa, so Rapapa asked the kasha, Midaresha Bari Ubari, Seifa Nami Bari Bari. If the Resha is Bari Ubari, then you have to say the Seifa is also Bari Ubari. Right? So Ema Seifa. So then what about, let's say, the Seifa? I mean, again, the Mishnah in the beginning, the first case of the Resha, where it was just one guy saying, your shar gored, my shar, damaged my shar, and the other one says, no, it was a rock. So we're saying, okay, so that has to be Bari Bari. Fine. So then the Seifa, which consists of another 5 cases, which we'll see in the Gemara, hence it gets confusing, right? But the Seifa is talking about Bari, that means the Seifa also has to be talking about Bari Bari. So Gemara is going to prove now that it can't be talking about Bari Bari. So with the ratio Bari Bari, Seifa Nami Bari Bari, ain't the Seifa. So let's say the Seifa, if one guy was a gadol, one animal was a gadol, one was a cotton, nizik, goimer gadol, hizik, umazik, goimer loiki, right? Ela cotton, hizik, the cotton did the damage. Echad tam ve'echad muad, nizik, goimer muad, hizik, umazik, goimer loiki, ela tam, hizik, right? So they're having a fight whether the nizik wanted to be in his favor, and the mazik wants it to be in his favor. So what do we say? But let's say, so it sounds like the nizik has to bring a raya. Fine. And if he doesn't bring a raya, what's the din? Shokil, he's going to take. He's kida amar mazik. Sounds like from the Mishnah, it's amoitzi mechaver al raya. And if he can't bring a raya, so then whatever the mazik said is what's going to be. Right? So the mazik says, oh, it was my small shor that gored, not my large shor. Okay. And the nizik can't prove it was the large shor. Okay, so you'll get the small, the small shor. Or the nizik says it was a shor of wood, he can't prove it. And the mazik says it was a shor tam. Okay, so he gets half damages. So Gemara says, Haloi Nema, if that's the case, Nema to have it to you have to do Rabbi Bar Nosan. If that's the case, then you have a kasha on Rabbi Bar Nosan. Damar Tanu Chitin v'Hoydila b'Sayrim Potter. Then it's Potter, right? So this it's not a hard case to understand, but it's an interesting case. He's talking about a case where a guy goes to his friend and says, you owe me wheat. And the other guy says to him, I don't owe you wheat, I owe you barley. Right? So Rabbi Bar Nosan says that he's Potter. We don't look at it like Moed b'Mitzas, because it's 2 different items. Meaning, if he had gone to him and say, you owe me 100 worth of wheat, and the guy said, I only owe you 50 of wheat, so that's Moed b'Mitzas, he has to make a shvur, right? Rabbi Bar Nosan says that what's going on here? He's asking for wheat, right? He's not asking for barley. So that means that he's Moed, that he's not owed barley. And this guy's saying, I don't owe you wheat, I owe you barley. So Rabbi Bar Nosan says it's a fight whether he owes wheat or not. The barley is not part of the cheshbon, right? So therefore he says he's potter. So the same thing here, right? If the nizik is saying a shor muad damaged my shor, and the mazik is saying it's a shor tam. So if you go with what Rabbi Bar Nosan says, so then he should be totally potter. If the guy can't bring a raya, if the nizik can't bring a raya, he should be totally potter. Right? Just like if he asks for wheat and the guy tells him back it's barley, you're saying it's potter. So to it, saying your shor who's the muad damaged me. He says, no, the tam man damaged. Right? So therefore, it can't be. It can't be. So Ella, it must be talking about, the Sefer must be talking about, in order to make sure the Rabbi Bar Nosan fits into the Mishnah, it must be talking about a bari and a shema. Right? It's a bari and a shema, where one is definitive and one is not sure. Okay, so who's who? The Ka'amar bari, man Ka'amar shema, the Ka'amar bari man, the Ka'amar shema man. Which one is the mazik, the one that's the bari, or is the nizik the one that's bari? So you name it the Ka'amar nizik bari, the Ka'amar mazik shema. If you say that the nizik is 100% definitive, that it was the short time, and the bari, and the mazik says Shema, Akati lemetav due to the Rav Arnosan. That's still a kasha Rav Arnosan, right? Because the mazik is not agreeing to the same thing that the nizik is complaining about. So it's got to be the other way. Nizik Shema. It must be that the nizik says, I'm not sure if it was your shar muad, but I think so. The Kamma mazik bari, and then the mazik says it's bari. Okay. So now with the sefer nizik shema or mazik bari. So if you're saying that the sefer is talking about where the nizik is a shema, and the mazik is definitive, so reisha nami nizik shema mazik bari. So then the reisha also has to be a shema and a bari, right? And you had just finished saying that sumchus says his din even by bari or bari, and our mission is coming to exclude sumchus. And sumchus would say even in a case of bari and shema, the itzrich lashmin and delay, right? You have to say, oh, this mission is coming to exclude sumchus. Okay, which case for sumchus? It's bari and shema, not bari and bari. You already said that the Mishnah cannot be talking about bari and bari. It's talking about a bari and shema, right? So you have no proof that you can't. There's no uniform way to say the Mishnah, right? Yeah. So the Mela, it doesn't fit according to what Sumchus says. So why are you saying that we have to exclude Sumchus? Well, answer is like no. Sefer nizik shema umazik bari. The sefer is taka. The nizik is a shema and the mazik is a bari, and the reisha is nizik bari umazik shema. So that right, and meaning there's two different cases, and it switches from the reisha to the sefer, right? And that's where Sumchus says his din, that the guy who's the mazik he has a weakened position, right? And Memela, Sumchus would hold he has to split it, and the Rabbanan hold no, you don't have to split it, right? Because again, Sumchus is saying it's your standard suffix, and our mission is coming to tell you that it's not. So then the Gemara says, second one lie down, but then the reisha is not similar to the sefer, right? So now you have to start splitting the cases, right? So meaning, since you can't say, the way Rashi explains it, since you can't say that it's talking about one of the same cases, right? So then maybe you could say that the reisha is bari and bari, and then you could say that Sumchus would disagree, right? And you could say the sefer is talking about something else, meaning now everything's up for grabs once you starting to switch the scenarios. So Amri, bari v'shema, shema bari chad milso. No, to interchange, what's the word? To switch from one case of a bari and a shema to a shema and a bari, meaning in one case the mazik's the shema and the nizik's the bari, and in the other case it's the opposite. So that's no big deal because that's essentially the same. It's the same title. Bari or bari, but to mix up bari and bari and then shema bari, trei milim, that's two different things. That we can't say, right? Right. So therefore, you can't say that the reisha is bari and bari and the sefer is bari and shema. So it seems to me, be honest with you, I have no idea what the maskanas advarim is from this. I'm sorry, I tried, but
I don't think there is a real maskana.
no, I don't know. I can't figure out. So where am I holding now with the sugya? I have no idea. I apologize. I have no idea.
There's a problem. The final answer of the Gemara would really answer up the kasha. Rabbi Bar, who's it?
Or nothing.
Rabbi Bar Nosson. They're two different things. You can't say Talmud. It's the same as the siren.
Right.
So the final answer of the Gemara would really answer that. So the whole thing falls off, really.
I hear you.
Could say Bari the whole way through.
Okay, I don't even know. Okay, on to a little bit easier Gemara. Gufa. Yeah, so Amar Rabbi Bar Nosson, Tanu Chitin V'Haydel B'Sarin Potter. Right, so Rabbi Bar Nosson's chiddush was if you go over to a guy and say you owe me wheat, and the guy tells him back, I don't owe you wheat, I owe you barley. He's potter. That's not a moed of a mitzvah. Again, because he's not admitting to anything. And barley, the guy's not asking him for barley. The guy's only asking him for wheat. Right? So therefore, he does not have to pay. So my kamash, what's the chiddush? We already learned it by shvua. We learned it tanu chitin. If a guy tines to him that he owes him wheat, and he's moeded him by barley, potter. He's potter from a shvua. That's talking about a shvua. Right? So you see that if you potter from a shvua, so you potter from payment. So Gemara says, no, he still needs Rabbi Bar of Nassim still has to say it in because he may also, if it would be by the shvua have, potter with the mechitin. When he said potter, he's potter from paying wheat for chayiv with the meisodin, but he is chayiv to pay barley. Right? Meaning he's potter on wheat but pay barley. Kamash will the potter legam. He comes along, Rabbi Bar Nassim, says, don't think that. Don't think that when it says potter means he doesn't have to pay anything. No, he has to pay. You would have thought that potter doesn't mean potter completely. It means potter just from wheat, but barley you'd have to pay. So Rabbi Nassim is telling you, don't make that mistake, and he's potter from everything. Fine.
Huge chiddush.
Yeah, well,
Should be a dos there.
correct. Yeah, I don't know how that works.
He's Michael. Since he's Tainus kitten, he's Michael inside.
Right. He's being Michael aside. Yeah. Tanan. Are you on the Nizake and Mishnayim? So now asking on him from our Mishnah. Case number 4, I think it's from the Mishnah. If there were 2 animals that got damaged, Echad Gadol, Echad Katan. Right? So the Nizik says the Gadol damaged the Gadol and the Katan damaged the Katan. And the Mazik says no, they were flipped. Right? The Katan damaged the Gadol and the Gadol damaged the Katan. Right? So we said Shakel, right? If he didn't bring a raya, he's going to take it to Amar Mazik. He'll take it the way the Mazik said it. Amai, well, why? The Mazik is admitting to something totally different than what the Nizik had. So what answer is royally told them. What?
It's not different. It's an animal. It damaged his animal.
No, but it's a different animal.
What?
The case is.
No, I know it's a different animal, but who knows the difference?
I mean, how do they know the difference? I don't know. But
I mean, obviously they knew more about animals than I do, but okay.
I think there's a
I
fundamental.
think they're going to ask for the animal that was damaged to bring Adam or to stand up and give Adis. What do you want from the animal? The animal doesn't even know his owner.
No. He's asking if there's a fundamental difference between wheat and barley. It's a different crop. Here we're dealing with a tam and a mud or a gadol and a katan. There's a fundamental difference. That's what you're asking, right, Aaron?
Yes.
what?
Between chitin and sair, wheat and barley are 2 different crops.
Okay.
There's a fundamental difference between them. Here they're arguing about a tam versus a mud. They're both cows. What's the fundamental difference between a tam and a mud? Elamai, the Gemara is treating the tam and the wood as fundamentally different. They're as different.
He doesn't know which of your cows is a tam, which is a wood. Maybe the difference in size, but
No, that's his claim.
Totally different. Who says they're totally different in size?
That's the claim of the Mishnah. The Mishnah says, Achad gadol v'echad katan, right? So the Nizik says, your gadol killed my gadol and your katan killed my katan. And he says, no, my cotton killed your gadol, and my gadol killed your cotton. So the Gemara is, even though I hear where you're coming from, but the Gemara is treating a gadol and a cotton as a fundamentally different creature.
I mean, if John Wayne was sitting on the horse would look small. If David Zolzang was sitting on the horse would look big. No.
Well, it's relative to his.
What do you call it? Yeah, but are you trying to be mechaleh between whether it's a bari and a shema? Is that what you want to say?
No. He's saying that the tainas are different. When I say to you, you owe me $100 worth of wheat, and you say like, no, I owe you $50 of barley. Wheat and barley are fundamentally different crops. They have no shaykhs. My taina and your taina have no shaykhs. In our Mishnah, we're dealing with cows. I taina, your cow killed my cow, and your cow killed my cow.
Right.
And you say, no, my cow killed your cow, my cow killed your cow. What's the difference? How is that barley a chitin and siren? The tainas are the same taina.
Okay,
They're just switching
all
the
right.
animal around.
Okay.
It's not
Oh.
chitin and siren.
I hear you. But anyway, so the kasha is we're trying to compare big cow and little cow to wheat and barley, right? Or sharmuid to not a sharmuid, right? So l'chayr it's a kasha and Rav Bar Nosson, right? So Gemara says it doesn't mean he takes if he doesn't give a proof, if he doesn't give a raya, doesn't mean he gets payment. Roy lito ve'enlo, meaning it's roy for him to take if he proves it. But if he doesn't, he's getting zilch. Right? Okay. Because the Gemara asks, Vatanya raise a mishtalim ala kotan min agadol v'gadol min akotan. There's a brisa that says he gets paid from the small cow, meaning the small cow out of the big cow, not physically out of the big cow, right? And the gadol from the kotan. So you see that he will get some money. So the Gemara answers the tofas, which is a whole different sugya. Talking about where he took the animal, meaning they're fighting about the animal, so he took it before they can go to Bezin. Once he takes it, then it's already less. I mean, it's hard to understand. It's really less than a Matzah Mechavera, but it gets into Hefker and gets into a whole thing, which I also don't understand. I'm saying the guy grabbed it before Bezdin, so take it back from him. But Elamai, we're going to see tomorrow's daf also. It seems like if you basically do first and then ask.
This is the Rush's right to Kaldal and Gover. It's come on.
Is it? Well,
That's what he says. Kaldal and Gover is B'diavad. That's how it works.
Okay, good. Fine. Next, an exact repeat. Tanan. Rashi goes through why the Gemara is asking this twice. Tanan, if one's a tam, one's a muad. Hanizik, I'm a muad. Hizik is a gadol. The tam is a cotton, right? And v'amazik, I'm a loiki. Ela tam is a gadol, muad is a cotton. Amatz merel or raya. Olay maisi raya. Shokuk gadol mazik. If he didn't bring a raya, then he's going to take like what the mazik said. V'amai chitin usayrin ninu kasha Rabbi Bar Nosson on Tomad Aleph now. We'll go to the Gemara. So we'll finish the parak and go to a Gemara. So tomorrow's a short day. So the Gemara says, "Roy li tov." It doesn't mean that he takes money. He's right to take money if he could prove it. You see that you could take payment from out of it. The Gemara answers the tafas. It's somewhere where you already grabbed it. Fine. Then the Mishnah says, if it's shnei, right, that going back to the original case, second case in the Mishnah, it's two animals, and one of them damages. They're both chayiv. What does that mean? They're both chayiv. So obviously they're not both chayiv to pay the damages. It comes out of both of them. So Amalei Rava Miparziko, the Rav Ashi Shmamino Shvarim Tamim. You have Shvarim Tamim. There you go, Rachim Shvarim. Yeah, Sheziku, and they damaged. Ratzim Mizeh Goiva, Ratzim Mizeh Goiva. If he wants, he can collect from this one. If he wants, he can collect from this one. Right? Meaning what Rashi says is that if one animal gets lost, he can go collect from the other animal. How could that be? Right? It's a shar tam. Shar tam, we know you only get paid from the shar that did the damage. So what's this guy doing? He's going to say, well, it's one of your two shars. Okay, so the Mazik will say, well, prove it which one. So does that mean that the Mishnah is saying, well, if one of them gets lost, you get paid from the other one? It can't be. Can't be, because either it did the damage or it didn't do the damage. Right? Meaning if a guy has a shar from his corral, I don't know if corral is the right word, whatever, from his farm, and it gores, and then the shar goes back in and we have no idea which shar it is, or that shar dies. Right? Let's go to a simpler case. The shar dies. He's going to say, oh, you owe me from a different shar? No, you lost. By Tam, you lost. Anyway, so when I answer, so I'm asking about Muad, and we're not talking about Tam, we're talking about Muad. Right? So by Muad, the din is that the guy owes him the money. The money just doesn't come out of the shor that gored. If you can't pay with the shor that gored, then you have to pay money out of you, take money out of your bank. So I'm going to ask, even muadin, there's no muad, I'm a seifa, hayachad gadol echad katan and izak, I'm a gadol izak, but mazik I'm a loiki, halakatan izak, I'm a gadol right. Even muadin, my nafka lamina. What's the difference? Meaning, we're talking about muadin now in the next case. So then, what's the difference? Who did what damage? Saif, the made two ramaya by the shumi. Again, we're talking about a large cow, small cow. So the reason why they're fighting over which one did which one is because it's going to make a difference if you're only getting half damage. But we're talking about muadin, and you have to pay the full damage. So the mazik has to pay the full damage regardless of whether it was the big cow, the small cow. He owes him whatever. Let's say if he did $1,000 worth of damage in the cow, he has to pay $1,000. So Malay, Seifa B'Tamin, the Seifa is talking about Tam, the Reisha B'Muadin, and Reisha is a Muad. Right? So the Gemara asks, Amar the Ravach of Saba the Ravashi, even Muadin, if we're talking about Muadin, Chayovim, so what do you mean Chayovim plural? Chayiv Gavra Miboile. It should go on the person. Right? Chayovim means you're mechuyev to take your payment from these cows. But if it's a shar muad, then the gavra, the man, is responsible. So it should say chayiv gavri boile. That's one kasha. The su, my shneim. What does it mean both? What do you mean both? They're not both chayiv. Whichever one is chayiv, you have to. It has to pay. What?
Owner's chayiv, not the cows.
So, right, exactly. So it's going on the owner. It's not the cows. The question is exactly what the difference is between the two kashas, but essentially similar kashas. So let's go back, and now we're not talking about mood. The time, and we're talking about a short time. Rabbi Kiva here, and it's going according to Rabbi Kiva. Remember, we had this machlokas, and it's coming up again in the next paragraph. The machlokas Rabbi Kiva and Rabbi Shmuel. How do you look at a shor that damaged? Right. So Rabbi Kiva holds that it's shutvin. They become shutvin right away. They're not right away. Shutvim is they become partners right away in the shor, right? And Rabbi Kiva, not Rabbi Kiva, that's Rabbi Kiva. Rabbi Shmuel holds that he becomes a bal chayv. The second his shor damages, he becomes a bal chayv. Right? So we're saying this is going according to Rabbi Kiva, the shutvim of the time of the isnu l'tavayim. Then the reason that is that he's mechuyev is because you have the two cows right here, the loy matzi matfil. You can't push him off. Right? So because what's he going to say? It was the other one, it's not this one, either one, you're a partner with him. Have a less value, but if you don't have both shars there, matzi amrale, he could say to him, right, meaning the mazik could say to nizik, zil I see raya, the high tura askaf vashalach, bring a raya, that this is the shar, and I'll give it to you. Meaning as long as the two shars are there, so he's got to pay up. Right, because they're partners in that shor, and that shor is in existence, just doesn't know where the shor is, which one is it, but the bottom line is they're partners in it. But if one shor is missing, then the mazik could say, hey buddy, we're partners in the shor, prove that this is the one. If you can't prove that this is your shor together with me, then you're out. Okay. Hadran Allah Hameniach.
Chaim.
Yeah. Once we go from one cheshbon, let's go right into the next cheshbon. Zog the Mishnah. Shor shenogach. You think there's relief, right? I mean, they dream up these cases. It's gewaldig. Shor shenogach arba v'chamisha shvarim. So a shor went and gored 4 or 5 shvarim, which is lav dafka. The Gemara is just choosing that lashon, and they're all tam, meaning this shor, even though he gored 4 or 5 other shors, it's a tam. Ze'achazan, he did it one after the other. Now, the first question is, how could he be a tam? How could he be a tam?
He didn't go to Benson yet, no?
No, also because we said according to one, it can't be on the same day. Maybe something that happened that day. It has to be different days. He said one after the other.
That's a different machlokas, right? So according to that,
See, Yaakov, this is only for you because nobody else will know what I'm talking about. If you look up on YouTube, I mean, I remember when it really happened. Rudy LaRusso was a forward for the Lakers. He happened to be a Yid. He was a Yid, Rudy LaRusso. He won. Something happened in the Knick game. he beat up half the Nick team in 7 minutes. He just went berserk, like Naftali is saying.
It's on. It's
So
on.
he gets 1-5.
I imagine it's on YouTube. I don't know. I remember when it happened.
I
They
have a
didn't have
pic-
YouTube back then.
But they had film. Maybe yeah, maybe not.
I have a big memory about that. Yes, I know Hanami. So that's exactly what it is. But how did it do it that he's not a tam? So I don't know why. I mean, according to that sheet, the Chayr Naftali is
Same
right.
idea. Like in Aaron's case, he would get 1 fine. Might be a bigger fine, but he wouldn't get 5 different fines for 5 different players. This is one instance.
Well, yeah, but it's not exactly in one instance because the way Rashi says it, and we're going to get into this in tomorrow's stuff. Yeah. He gored one shor, then he saw another shor, and he didn't gore it. So now he's minus on his tongue. Then he saw another shor and he gored it, and then he saw another shor and he didn't gore it. So he's like a little schizophrenic over here, if that's the right word, right? And Mamela, he's not considered a muad. So we're talking about here is where he's doing every other shor, right?
That's still Yehuda, not Rameir.
Yeah, that's enough to say. Yeah. So anyway, so that's what he did. He gored 4 or 5, one after the other. So Yishalim la'acharan shebehem. The last guy that got damaged gets paid first, right? Then, meaning half damages, and if there's any left over from the shot, again, the money comes out from the damaging shot. So they pay half damage to the last shot. If there's anything left, it cuts back to the one before him. If there's anything left, right? Meaning you start from the last shor, and each one subsequently it goes back. And the last guy obviously is the one that gains from this whole thing. That's what Rameir holds. Now, why is it that the first guy doesn't get paid and not the last guy? That we're going to see in the Gemara tomorrow, right? What's the lumdus over here? The first guy got damaged. He should be in line first. Why is the last guy? Okay, so that we'll see in the Gemara. We'll try and see it in the Gemara. We'll see it in the Gemara. We'll understand the Gemara, a different story, right? Reb Shimon,
if there's time in between, you would say the first one we get there first. Let's say there's half an hour between one or the other, and he did it 10 times, whatever. If they're the first guy, when he starts running the base, then he's going to be the first one to get there. He's got a head start. Right. But unless the talking is all the Elamachas, one Elamachas, the short did 10 in 5 minutes.
I don't think it was Helam. Reb Shimon Oimer, okay, Reb Shimon Oimer, Shor Shav Masayim, Shenogov l'Shor Shav Masayim, a shor worth 200 that gored another shor worth 200. Ve'ein nevela yofa klum, and the nevela is worthless. So then we know from yesterday's daf or 2 days ago's daf that you split the shor that damaged. Zen noitel mana, zen noitel mana. So each one gets 100. Chazar v'nogach shor acher shav Masayim. Now it went and gored another shor worth 200, right? Ha'achara and noitel mana. Then the last guy takes 100. Now v'shalafonov. Then there's not zen noitel chamishim zuz v'zen noitel chamishim. The one before him. Now there's 2 partners again, because if you're going, well, it's going to depend on which sheet he goes. But if you go with that, they become partners. So now once this shor gored another shor, so, and the carcass is worth nothing, so that means the nizik and the mazik both become partners in this shor, right? So then that shor goes and gores a different shor. So now one guy's not on the hook for 100. Yeah. So that meaning one is on the hook for 50 and the other one is on the hook for 50, right? Right, because each one's going to lose 50 because they're partners, right? And then it goes and it goes a third shor worth 200. So the last guy gets 100. The shalafana chamishim zuz. The shnaim arishonim, and the first 2 guys that got damaged, dinar zov, take a dinar zov, which is 25. Right? Meaning, as the shor goes down the line and gores, the earlier ones are going to get shafted. Right? The later one will get his 100 because he's the last one to be damaged, so he gets half of the payment. Right? Now the two earlier ones are only going to get half because they were partners already, which, right? And then the ones before that gets half of that, so that ends up with a 25. Okay, we'll re-chazer a little bit this Mishnah tomorrow, Bez Hashem. It's a lot of cheshbon. I apologize for not doing a good job. But anyways, okay, let's say some tilling. Where is it? Where did I find it? Okay, Gimel. Shem is mal asaf, alim adam milach. Tachrash atishkot el, kinei vecha yemon, mesenach masurash. Alam chayalim yisod yisrael to atzvanecha amru, mechuvan achidim megavi lo yizrach Hashem Yisrael oid. Kinei tu levi achta v'lecha b'rus yichrois olei adam yishmil mayav agrim. Kol v'amoin v'amalik v'leshes yosh v'tzor gam asher milba imam ha'Yisrael of neil etzela selim k'midyon. Ksisok yavim ben achakisha mishmidu v'endor ha'yidon la'adamah. Shisemin edevim k'layim v'chazeva v'zevach v'tzamuna kol nistichem asher amru. Yishalon was noisel him alehai. She said, "Kagago kashif meruach keish devar yor chulavat lahei torim. Ketir devim b'sarech v'sifas v'sivalim. Alef meim kolim v'aksha shimcha adonai yivoshu v'bolo adeya v'yachpru v'yavedu v'yedu kiata shimcha adonai levadecha el yona kol haaretz achenu kol beis Yisrael." Arasunu matzav l'shiv yom devim aliyom.
Oh, sure.
Alichtig in Chanukah and all right.